This week on Motorhead Garage, Brian and John bring back that classic muscle car sound by installing a new exhaust, as well as learning a new flashy way to reduce curb rash on tires. Next on Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting.
Welcome to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting. Well, what I'm standing in front of is an S10 conversion frame here. From the front to the back, it's gorgeous. And who's responsible for that? Well, it's Chris. Chris, come on in here from code 504. Man, this is something else. Tell us a little bit about it.
You know, code 504 is actually a national police code. It's called tampering with vehicles. So once we heard that, we accepted it right away.
Perfect name. You tampered with this one. Let's start from the back. I mean, I see a fuel tank here.
What this is, we make a universal fuel tank. We actually buy the tank itself from Tanks Inc., and we make all the bracketry, you know, incorporate into what we have in our brackets, so it's 100% bolt-on again.
Everything's good. You got a fuel pump. What if I want to run fuel-injected carburation? Does it make a difference?
Nope. All you got to do there, the tank will come with a regular suction type setup. You can just pull that out and actually put a high-pressure pump into it if you're going to run an LS.
That's going to work. I see the line down the side, your filter, just like factory. Back to the differential, ring and pinion, bearings, everything, all refurbished down here?
Yep. What you're looking there is on a two-wheel drive chassis, it's actually the rear end is too narrow to be made for the later model pickups. So we just take that two-wheel drive out, we put a four-wheel drive, S10 four-wheel drive into it. Once we do that, it just drops right back into place. So
different options. I mean, I can even put a Ford 9-inch if I want to.
You could. We offer that as well on our website.
Awesome. I see some blocks now. This one's obviously lowered. I can put stock suspension, springs. What's my combos there? You
know, there's a lot of different combinations there. You can reuse the original leaf springs, put a 2 or 3 inch lowering block into it to get that height that you want. We actually just started coming out with a 4, 5, and a 6 inch leaf springs that you can actually replace that out now without having to have any blocks. Just drop the housing right back on top of it.
Nice. So the leaf springs are going to do the lower and minus the blocks.
Sure.
Awesome. What about our powder coated frame? I mean, this looks like a lot of work got put into that.
You know, it is. It's real simple to do. I mean, when you do a conversion kit, you can actually take that frame and you can paint it. You can sandblast it, powder coat it. It's kind of up to the individual how far he wants to go with it. Everything you're seeing in the blue actually is what the pieces that come in the kit, the conversion kit itself. So
I could just take them, put it on there. Now the pieces in the blue, this is going to accommodate different bodies.
Right. You know, we make kits, you know, for the Chevy, Ford, and the Dodge lines. Chevrolet will run from 41 to 54.
Right.
And the Ford runs, you know, back from 1940 all the way up to 56 now.
So I got the nice, stout, modern body under my old pickup truck.
Sure.
Brake booster right here. We got a brake booster, real nice kind of package right under the floorboard. Got it off the firewall.
We do. You know, we actually make a pedal assembly that bolts to the inside front cab bracket, and you got an 8-inch dual master booster with a master cylinder. By doing that, it gives you the opportunity to have that off the firewall, making it nice and clean, keeping it under the floor.
Everything's built in. I mean, this is a true package rolling chassis here. I mean, we're ready to go. Motor mounts, looks like maybe standard 350. Options there as well? We
do. You know, a lot of guys will set it up for, you know, maybe that donor motor. Trying to get these things back out there, get them, you know, where you can afford them. These motor mounts you're seeing is actually what's standard in the kit, and it's set up for a mechanical fuel pump. If you want to slide that motor back, put an electric one into it, we got motor mounts that'll slide it back up to the firewall. Or if you got the LS, and we also have the 6-cylinder mounts, believe it or not.
Now, I'm a big fan of this long arm, short arm suspension system. I mean, you see the caster camber adjustments. It's durable. It's proven. I mean, this is an awesome suspension system. Everything new, ball joints, bushings?
Everything is brand spanking new underneath it. Again, you can buy it at all local auto stores, or we sell it. It's nothing that has been changed over from the S10. It is stock. The front end has been working for years. It gives you a great ride.
Let's go up to the front. I mean, we got the gearbox, parallelogram steering system, got my idler arm, pitman arm, all that stuff right there, all new as well?
Exactly. You can buy it at a local auto store, reclaim the gearbox, clean it up and use it. Those gearboxes are mostly, you know, indestructible.
Once again, bulletproof. I mean, from the rear to the front. I mean, I'm going to take me a old pickup truck and I'm going to be riding on a bulletproof chassis, basically. You know,
and the thing is, with the conversion kit, you can actually do this at home by drilling the holes, cutting off the old brackets, mounting the cab and the box, everything on it in 20 hours.
Chris, code 504 has got it together, man. Tell us about the website. Where can they go out and find these components or the frame itself?
You know, you can look in our website and you can actually just type in code504.com. We're out of Seward, Nebraska. The phone number's on there as well. More than happy to take the time, talk to you what you're needing in your kits, you know, and you tell us what combination you're going to be doing. We can actually customize that and say, hey, this is going to work for you.
And that's the key. Give them a call. They're experts at it. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by Dustless Blasting.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting, coming to you from Borla Commerce Park. Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting, is being brought to you by Beidler's Manibolt Driller. You can't miss with this. Brothers Truck Parts, your #1 source for 1947 to 87 Chevy and GMC truck restoration. MRT Performance, for performance car parts and servicing. And by Dustless Blasting, it's the future of surface preparation.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage. We get this really cool 2016 Mustang our buddy owns. He loves the car, loves the 400 horsepower, but he's not too enthusiastic about the stock exhaust. I mean, good but not great, right? We have a solution for that, and the guys from Sweet Thunder have it. Chambered exhaust. We're going to bring back that 1960s crisp exhaust note, and we're going to improve performance. John's going to tell you a whole bunch more about it, then we're going to bolt some on to this Mustang.
Well, thanks, Brian. In order to get that classic muscle car sound in our new Mustang and plenty other makes and models for that matter, we brought in John. John, you're the owner of Sweet Thunder Exhaust. Now, you're also a car guy and an engineer. That's pretty cool, because a lot of our viewers and people don't understand the engineering that it takes that goes into an exhaust. Tell us a little bit about your company, and then we'll look at your products.
Well, Sweet Thunder was formed in 1979, and we started as a Corvette house and building C2 and C3 Corvette side exhausts.
Tell us a little bit about the chambered exhaust. Maybe I don't even understand what's chambered exhaust versus a muffler. I mean, this is pretty cool.
Okay, these are chambered exhausts, and if you think of a muffler, really is nothing more than a wind instrument.
Right.
Wherever I play that note, that's the note that it has. There's nothing in here to burn out. There's no packing or anything, so the note that it has is the note that it will always have. And as you can see, I'll show you, there's a very high flow.
Yeah.
There's nothing in there to restrict anything, so you also get performance as well as that classic muscle car sound. This is where it was born back in the 60s with chambered exhaust.
Now, also the performance aspect of that, there's a big term out there like volumetric efficiency. How much we're getting in gas, air into the engine, we have to get it out. This is going to do this, that, isn't it?
Exactly. It's just a straight through flow through design. And as you can see, it's very small, compact. So you don't see anything from the side view of your car. You don't see the cans hanging down or anything like that.
Well, let's take a look at it right here. This is a Corvette frame, isn't it?
This is a C1 Corvette frame from Chassis Concepts. And we build for them. And you can see how beautifully you can lay out an exhaust system with using chambered exhaust, because wherever you can run a pipe, you can run a chambered muffler.
Right.
These are the actual mufflers.
Right, so starting right here to right here is the actual muffler itself. That's the chambered exhaust, free flowing, good sound, and then we eliminate it on the back of the car then.
Yep, we end up going through an X pipe, which is underneath the axle there, and then come right on out to the tips.
In an exhaust system, you're actually getting pulses, and when you get those pulses, it's almost creating a vacuum, or it is creating a vacuum. We're actually scavenging and pulling the air mixture out of the cylinders. We get more out, we can put more in. We're making performance with this.
Right. So, and with the X, you never back up. All these will take the path of least resistance. So you don't back up the exhaust pulses as they're traveling down the pipe.
That's awesome. Let's go back here to the rear now. What about the tips and everything? I see they're coming out the back. It's got that really new modern look.
That's the latest thing in all of the C1 and C2 resto mods.
Right.
Everybody wants the new look on there because now they're running LS3 motors on up and but they still have that beautiful body from the 50s.
I see your clamps, you got the band clamps. What if I want to come out the side as well?
We also do that as well. We manufacture this particular system so that it can go back in stock locations or exit out behind the rear tires.
Now, if I want, what do I just go onto your website? I can put my car and I can get me an exhaust system?
Exactly, yeah. Anything that we manufacture for, you'll be able to find on there. Okay. And again, with
or I can custom put a pipe in there either way.
Along with X pipes and everything.
Now we're going to put this on our Mustang. We got a nice Mustang over there. I know explain this system a little bit, all the way back from the beginning. We'll actually go there to the tips.
Yeah, so we're coming out of the cats on this end, and then we will go through the through the X pipe, and then through the 2 chambered mufflers, and then mandrel bent, and then out through the resonators that were put in there for tone.
And now the mandrel bend, once again, volumetric efficiency. We're getting a good flow. Now this one has an H pipe?
This has an X pipe.
X pipe, okay.
This is an X pipe. And again, it's because it works best for more applications than an H pipe will. An H pipe is specifically for drag racing.
Well, fantastic. It looks like it's going to bolt on real easy. Well, I know Brian's chomping at the bit to put this exhaust system on, and more importantly, I know he wants to hear the sound, and he'll probably do it with a test drive, knowing Brian. So stick around. We'll be back with more Motorhead Garage presented by Dustless Blasting.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting. Well, John and John were talking about the benefits of the Sweet Thunder exhaust system. I went ahead and removed the factory system from our 2016 Mustang, and John is joining me under the car now. We're going to install the Sweet Thunder setup, and we're going to go right to it. It looks like a really straightforward installation.
Very easy install.
Cool. Well, first piece is going to go in here. Lead pipe's going to go right in. We're going to reuse our factory clamps, and you go ahead and give us a little tension on those bad boys.
One key, always just give it a little bit. Just want to snug them up a little bit. You don't want to over tighten.
Yeah, big part of the process is going to be finishing the alignment here, make sure everything's right, so you don't want to lock everything down.
So everything's level and level in the right place.
Another quick tip here: we're going to reuse our factory exhaust hangers, but we can use a little PV blaster to lubricate the hangers or the parts of the exhaust where the hanger is going to slide onto. The reason we want to do that is because these things can get kind of tight, kind of tension on there. They're going to slide on really nice. Use those factory hangers here. So why don't we touch this up one more time. We got our two hangers on there, then we can start putting on the tailpipes. You know, this is a really nice heavy gauge steel system. John, I'm going to lift this up. Why don't you slide our work table right back there for a second.
And one thing, we always use American steel, and it's all 16 gauge or 14 gauge depending on the application.
And that's cool because you know what? You can always cut costs by going with the cheaper material, but obviously that's not what you guys are about at Sweet Thunder.
Nope, not at all.
All right, I'm going to come in here, hook our hanger up.
Started on there.
Perfect. You want to put a little zip on your clamp down there? So as you're tightening these clamps, again, you mentioned, you know, when you're bolting the system on, it's not about cranking the thing down full bore the first time, right?
Just a little snug.
Yeah, we want to have enough adjustment so when we get the tailpipes when we get the tailpipes to where they're supposed to go, we want to be able to tweak them into their center of the openings here in the bumper. There we go. I just hooked the hanger of the chassis. Grab my bolts.
It does help a lot too to have extra set of hands.
Yeah, the second set of hands is a big deal, especially in a job like this. And when it comes down time to make sure everything's aligned, so you don't have to keep climbing out from under your car 100 times, it's nice to have that second set of eyeballs back there too.
Yep, center up that tip, because that's the only part of an exhaust you should ever see.
Perfect.
Put the other side down.
I'll grab the second pipe.
Oh, it's good.
So now as we're sliding the second one on, you guys make kits for all different types of cars and trucks. You know, not only kind of classic stuff, but also a lot of late model stuff too, right?
A lot of late model stuff, including pickup trucks, and then all the Mopars and Camaros.
Well, I think what's really cool is, you know, chambered exhaust. Guys from my generation, we never really got to hear it as much as you guys did. So now you're kind of spreading the love, bringing that history back to all us young guys too.
What are you trying to tell me here?
No, hey, you're an elder statesman, man. This is good stuff.
Right. It's the old classic muscle car sound. This is where it was born. Again, it was in the chambered exhaust. So now at this point, we want to kind of try and level it. Okay. Yeah.
So I mean, we've been at this for a grand total of about 5 minutes. We have the majority of the system installed. I mean, obviously every car is different, but late model Mustang deal pretty much installs itself, it seems like.
Well, and we make a really good point about that everything fits, goes back in factory locations, we're using factory hangers if need be, or we provide the hangers if it's something that we've done differently, but it will all bolt up back into factory locations.
Part of that is following the correct process.
Exactly, and that's one of the other things about not tightening everything down first, so that now it's all loose fit. Now we can level and tighten things, and then everything will be centered and fit properly.
Well, that was about 5 minutes work. We're going to finish tweaking the tailpipes. When we come back from this, we're going to show you exactly what Sweet Thunder sounds like in a 2016 Mustang.
Excellent.
Time now for Project 18.8 with Steve Flanders.
Well, our Project 18.8 is officially slammed, and in the process of doing so, we lowered the front, got rid of the drum brakes, and put on a nice set of disc brakes, which is going to give us a massive stopping power. Now, Steve, it only makes sense to go ahead and upgrade and beef up the suspension a little bit for handling. Here at Brothers, how can we achieve that?
Well, we're going to add a set of sway bars to complement our revalve shocks and our lowered springs, and that's pretty easy. It usually helps to have a buddy. You can do this single-handedly, but if you have a buddy, it helps. You're going to put the sway bar up, center it on the control arms, and bolt your L brackets on. That's where your end links mount. And then once you've got your L brackets bolted on, bolt the actual sway bar right to the end of the end link. Then once you got that handled, swing the bar up, find out where it comes in contact with the frame, and put your U brackets on there. Mark those, drill them, and bolt your U brackets right to the frame. It's pretty simple. Very similar to what we're going to do here with the rear bar that we've got in front of us.
Yeah, that took care of the front. The rear, same process. You go all the way across. Let's go ahead and mount this one.
Right, now a little bit different here with the rear. We're going to go ahead and start with the assembly all put together, our end links on there and everything. And we've got a couple holes here that are native to the frame. They're in there, and so we're going to use those, and they aligned our bar real nicely here. And we're going to bolt the L brackets there, and then what we want to do is tighten the L brackets so that they're horizontal to the ground, parallel with the ground, so that our end links kind of stand up straight.
Right.
And then just like we did with the front bar, we're going to swing the rear bar underneath the control arms, and when we do that, we're going to find the location of our U brackets, mark those holes and drill them right through, and then we're going to bolt the U brackets on.
Man, that's a piece of cake. That's really going to stiffen up the suspension.
It is, and you know what's really key about sway bars on these trucks is a lot of guys will go and put a baseball bat in front, giant sway bar, and get really nothing out of it. You really need the front and the rear sway bar to complement the job.
Well, this will do it. There's plenty more with our Project 18.8. Join us next week.
Well, the work's done, the pipes are aligned, it was super easy. Now it's time for the payoff. Here's what this thing sounds like now. Way better than stock, and there's nothing that sounds like Sweet Thunder. That's awesome. We'll be back with more Motorhead Garage presented by Dustless Plastic right after this.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Plastic, is being brought to you by East Coast Gear Supply, providing everything needed to outfit your axles for battle. Power Probe, the right tool makes a world of difference. Stage 8, the world's best locking fastener. And by Dustless Blasting, it's the future of surface preparation.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage presented by Dustless Plastic. One of the most annoying and expensive things that can happen to your late model car or truck is if you happen to catch a curb while you're trying to park it or move it around. It's going to cost you a ton of money to get that fixed. If you got to replace the wheel, it's a whole bunch of aggravation you really don't need in your life. We got Patrick here from Alloy Gator, and Patrick, you guys have developed a product that's not only going to help people solve that problem, but also going to make their car or truck look cool. What is Alloy Gator and what does it do?
Alloy Gator was developed in the UK. It's a super tough nylon, and it was designed first and foremost to protect your alloy wheels against curb rash. And what inadvertently happened with that was the colors all came into play, and people started to see the opportunity to also personalize their vehicle.
So really what we have here is something that's going to be mounted kind of in between the wheel and tire, right? I mean, this thing is solidly in there, so if you happen to be pulling up to a curb, it's not going to slip or slide off. Tell me exactly, or in general terms, how these things go on.
Absolutely. The product has a stainless steel clip that gets installed prior to the installation, and it actually grips onto the inside of the rim. And then the product is, through soapy water, it is applied and it is put in between the bead and of the tire and the rim. And so it's gripped right onto the rim itself. So once it's installed, when you touch a curb, it will not spin on the rim and it will stay in place, protecting the rim.
Very cool. Now, obviously, it's a pretty straight-ahead installation, but we're dealing with wheels and tires. We're dealing with making sure this is seated for a good seal. Obviously, you want a professional installer to do this job.
For sure, and that's one of the things that we want to do when we brought it into the U.S. We have been going state to state, and we've been opening up installers and going through training with them and supplying them what they need to make the installs happen. We have that on our website, thegatorgarage.com. We have a locator. You put in your zip code and it'll bring up one of our local installers.
That's fantastic. I know one of the first things people are going to think of, well, how is this going to affect my wheel balance? I mean, obviously you're putting some in there. What's it going to do to wheel balance?
That's the unique thing with the product, the way it's designed. It will not affect wheel balance whatsoever. Cannot be installed on a wheel that has a wheel weight on the outside of the rim for obvious reasons, but most wheels now they have a weight on the inside, and it doesn't affect balancing at all. The product is an accessory that fits about 90% of the wheel and tire combos that are out there.
You mentioned it as an accessory. Obviously, you have a huge array of colors. I mean, we've installed these on our Challenger behind us. It's a perfect match for the green on this thing, and it really does kind of make the wheel and tire package pop right off the side of the car.
Yeah, we currently have 13 colors. They fit in ranges from 13 to 21-inch rims. Towards the first quarter of 2017, we're going to have a profile from 22 to 24 inch to cover those larger wheels.
And one of the interesting things that we had talked about is the fact that not only is this cool for a guy who wants to make his car or truck look better, look cooler, and also protect the wheels, but also if you're a dealership with a fleet of loaner cars or fleet cars that you're sending out, and you need those cars to be in constant rotation, you can't afford one to come back with a mashed up wheel. It's going to save those dealerships a ton of money and time as well.
Absolutely, and the time factor is a very important one because a lot of wheels, some of the machine surface wheels now cannot be repaired just due to the design of them. So the car has to come off the road. Even if the wheel can be repaired, sometimes it's upwards of 72 hours. So that's almost 3 days that you're out without a car on the road that one of your customers could be in.
Very cool. Now, you said the array is 13 colors right now?
Yeah, currently we have 13 colors, but we've also just come out with 2 colors that we're going to have available, which is gold and bronze. In the first couple quarters of next year, we're looking at bringing out matte colors.
Well, Patrick, Alloy Gator is not just for protecting wheels anymore. You guys are developing other products as well.
Absolutely. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel, just trying to protect it. And what fitted along with that was our clothing line, Gator Armor.
Can see it all on their website. It's a cool place to get all the information, the locator, the product info. They got it all right there. If you have a cool product that you think gearheads around the world would like to see here at Motorhead Garage, contact us by emailing Jeff@masterstv.com. And until next time, we'll see you at Motorhead Garage.